Hello, Arizona. Welcome to the Lawgitimate podcast. We are your hosts, Mike and Rochelle Poulton. We're with the Realty Executives AZ Own It team. We are the AZ Own It team. You can find us online at azownit.com or give us a call at 480-400-1297. We're here today to talk about 5 reasons you might want to go ahead and sell your house now. If you live here in the Valley, this is a good time to go ahead and cash out some real estate. Rochelle, what's number 1?
Number 1 on our list is values are up. Maybe you haven't been paying attention to the real estate market like we have, but it's important to know how much Arizona real estate has increased, even just in the last 6 months. So if you were thinking about refinancing before the pandemic and maybe didn't have enough equity in your home, well, you probably have enough now. Arizona real estate prices increased almost like 10% in the last 6 months. It's insane. The market is really, really hot. So our number 1 reason why you should sell real estate or your home, values are up.
It's pretty crazy. We continuously monitor the values in the neighborhoods that we work in, live in, and pay attention to. And just in the last 6 months or so, and especially in the last 3, we've seen some crazy escalation in market values and even more selling activity. There's not much inventory. Houses get sold almost immediately, but more and more of them have been turning over, and the prices are beyond belief, just far, far higher than anything we ever expected to see in these areas here in Central Phoenix. So we're pretty happy about it since we live and work here. And if you live and work here in this area too, you really may want to consider taking a close look at how much your property is worth and how attached to it you really are, because this could be a good time to go ahead and get out of it. That brings us to number 2, properties you might want to get out of, but perhaps in the past would have had a hard time getting out of. If your house is not in great shape, needs heavy renovation, perhaps has never been renovated since it was built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever.
Has deferred maintenance,
whole bunch of work that needs to be done on it, bad roof, bad air conditioning, bad electrical, whatever it is. Those things used to be an impediment to getting that house sold. They used to knock a bunch of money off the value and perhaps limit you to selling only to flippers. But nowadays, that really is not an impediment at all. What you see is that as the value of a house has increased so dramatically, the proportion of the home's value, which is reduced as a result of that deferred maintenance or the work that needs to be done on it, is much smaller now than it used to be. Whereas the need for a $40,000 or $60,000 renovation previously might have been a deal breaker for a lot of people. If your house has gone up in value by $100,000 or $200,000 since then, that $40,000 to $60,000 renovation cost just doesn't really matter all that much anymore. And because buyers are almost exclusively cash buyers at this point, or at least people with enough cash to throw at a project, and because construction is booming like crazy, buyers almost expect to have to do renovation. And if you want to buy a house in the Valley here, you're going to have to pick through primarily homes that have some deferred maintenance and need some renovation work in order to get them up to the current standards on a per square foot cost basis.
And you're still going to pay a lot of money for them.
You're going to pay a lot of money for them. So you're not going to have trouble selling a house with condition issues, and it's not really going to reduce the value all that much. And in fact, there's a weird thing going on right now where you may be better off not doing that renovation before selling it. It may be worth more proportionally in its unrenovated condition than if you were to go ahead and do that work before selling.
And the reason is inventory is low. Yep. So one of the reasons why values of homes continues to improve is we continue to have people move here and we continue to have people not selling their homes. So we have historically low inventory for people to buy. So there simply aren't a lot of houses on the market. So when a house comes up on the market, even if it's not in the best of shape and it has shag carpet and a kitchen from the 70s, there's still going to be a bidding war, simply because there's just not a whole lot out there. So if you've got those issues and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to renovate, I don't want to have to deal with the contractor, you don't have to. All you need to do is go ahead and consider actually just selling it as it is.
Absolutely. Number 3, upgrade early in a rising market. So if you are in a position where you've been thinking about upgrading your house, you're living in something that perhaps you like, was a good fit for you in the past, but you have a little more money now, you've got an expanding family, you want a better place, perhaps you're thinking that you shouldn't sell now because your house is continuing to increase in value. but so is your favorite house that you want to move into somewhere else here in Phoenix. If you're looking at moving into Arcadia or Arcadia Light, those houses are escalating in value just like your current house, but they're worth more than your current house. So the cash differential, the actual price difference between your current house and the dream home that you want to jump up into, is only going to get larger. Proportionally, the prices may stay the same. Perhaps you're looking at increasing your home value by 50%. You want to move into a house that's worth 50% more than your current home. Well, right now, that differential might be something affordable to you. In another 2 years, that 50% differential is still going to be 50%, but it's going to be twice as large in terms of real dollars. So then you may not be able to make that jump. So if you are planning on an upgrade early in a rising market. It will only improve your return on investment in the house that you upgrade into, and it will allow you to afford more house than if you wait until later.
And there's a ton of lending options out there for those people who are making that upgrade. Like a lot of lenders are anticipating these kinds of things happening, and interest rates are low.
Very.
So now is kind of the time to really consider doing it, because if you're waiting for the market to maybe dip a little bit so you can upgrade into your dream home, you probably shouldn't hold your breath.
You can't count on a dip. And in fact, there are plenty of reasons to think that may not occur. So right now, money is cheap in terms of lending. You can get a fixed rate mortgage, so you're not going to be subject to escalation of that interest rate a few years down the road. And you can move into a better house now than what you may be able to get in a few years. Another reason, cash out and move somewhere cheaper. Let's say you want to upgrade to a better house, but you don't need to stay in the Metro Phoenix area. Man, there are a lot of places where you can get far more house for your money than what you get around here.
There are a bunch of up and coming neighborhoods like Tolleson, Casa Grande, super cute, getting cuter. So you may want to consider just simply moving to the outskirts of the Phoenix metro area, especially if you're able to work virtually. Like if you're not commuting
Absolutely.
into the Phoenix metro area every day or only need to do it once a week, you may want to consider moving to the outskirts where you will get more house for your money.
And it used to be that those areas were just not even active, and home values were very low. They were rural. There was nothing going on there. Now, home prices are really starting to escalate on the outskirts of the valley as well. So you can feel a little bit better about the idea of putting your money there with some reasonable understanding that you're probably going to get good appreciation there over the next several decades as well. But you can get a lot more house for the cash that you already have in your existing home that's closer to the center of Metro Phoenix. And finally, our last reason why you might want to cash out now, you can move somewhere better. Now, what do we mean? This is maybe a little bit different than moving somewhere cheaper. It's going to be cheaper, but you can move somewhere that you just really want to live. You can live in the woods. You can live in the mountains. You can live somewhere completely on a farm. You can buy a farm. You can straight trade a single family home in the middle of Metro Phoenix for a personal farm in plenty of beautiful rural areas throughout this country. Now, you might be thinking, what am I going to do for work? Well, this is an option that applies to people who have the flexibility to live wherever they want, which a year and a half ago may not have been feasible. But now, with the strong shift to work from home and portable work and a lack of centralized workplaces during the pandemic, as well as the new availability of things like Starlink internet from SpaceX, which can give you a symmetrical high-speed connection in the middle of nowhere, anywhere in the country, you have the option of charting your own course and getting out of any city, but yet still working a city job and obtaining a city income. But that goes much further somewhere else than it does here. So if you've got a lot of equity in a property here in Central Phoenix, you might consider looking at completely different locations. If you've always wanted to get out of the hustle and bustle, you may have an option now that you didn't just a few months ago.
Yes. So better just depends on your life goals. Like, what are you looking to do? If you're looking to retire, you can always live somewhere remote. If you've got a growing family, but maybe you want more acreage because you have projects you want to do or just want to see more of the nature, you can do that now. And that was not an option about a year ago. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about all the reasons why you're thinking you shouldn't sell your house. These are 5 reasons why you should consider it.
Absolutely. If you're interested in the possibility of selling, feel free to get in touch with us. we definitely can help you understand what your options really are, talk about it, the good, the bad, help you make a decision. We can also list the property and get it sold for you if you want to go ahead and pull the trigger. Feel free to get in touch with us at azownit.com or give us a call at 480-400-1297.
Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.